All right, everyone. Welcome. So today what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you all how to model several Platonic solids. And so if we look at the interweb here, and we go to Platonic solids, you can see, if I go to images, what we're looking at here. So we've got the tetrahedron, which is basically a pyramid. We've got cube. We've got the octahedron. We've got the dodecahedron. And then what is this? Icosahedron? Icosahedron, or the Dungeon and D&D dice, right? 20-sided dice. So basically, these are the Platonic solids that we can choose from for the project. And there's a couple more. Of course, you've got pyramids. You can do multiple different types of pyramids and stuff. But I'm going to show how to make all of these using Rhino. And these are kind of the base for a project we're doing where we're going to create a light in space, kind of a lampshade type of sculpture. So the easiest one is going to, of course, be the cube, then the pyramid, then the octahedron. Then actually the icosahedron is the next easiest, followed by the dodecahedron being the most difficult of these. So I'm going to do all of these and try to bookmark our spots for each of them in the video here so that you can quickly find them. So let's go ahead and go with our easiest to most difficult here. So I'm just going to do the cube in the perspective window, and I'm going to type box. Okay. Specify my base point, click and draw kind of a rectangle. And I'm going to, and you can make this, it doesn't have to be a perfect cube. You can have it be a box of some sort, a rectangular box as well. But I'm going to just do a cube. And I'm going to make this cube 12 inches by 12 inches. Even though we are in the metric system with millimeters, if I do 12, quote, enter, and then 12, quote, enter, and then 12, quote, enter, I have now created a box that is 12 inches. And I think I'm in small object millimeters, which is more for jewelry. So I might actually go ahead and do this again, but with a new template here. No, I don't need to save it. And I'm going to go with large object millimeters here and open it up. And this should just be a quicker way, since we were just at the very beginning, to have a little bit more grid real estate here. So I'll go box again, specify my base point, and then go 12, quote, enter, 12, quote, enter, 12, quote, enter. And any of those dimensions you can kind of manipulate to make it your own. But this is basically just a 12 inch by 12 inch by 12 inch box. Easy. Okay, so that's the first one. The next one I'm going to do is the pyramid, which is a polygon. Whoops. Or actually, let's just type pyramid. Pyramid, yes. And how many sides for my pyramid? I'll do 3, enter. And you can see when you drag out on the pyramid with ortho on, it locks it in. And I want to always make sure that the angle that I'm locked in is straight to the grid facing the x-axis. So this is the direction I want to go. And then it says corner of the pyramid, I'm going to go 12 inches, enter, and then click and drag it up. And then I can select any dimension I want here. I'll just do 12 inches, enter. All right. And you can do any number of sides to the pyramid here. You saw that I changed it here. So pyramid. And then if you look up here, number of sides is at 3. And that's what I'm going to leave it at for this. So that's pretty easy, right? And where these become more complicated is as we start to make that lamp-like structure, we're going to break these up and do some cool little tricks to them. Okay, the next one is the octahedron. So what we do is we do another pyramid, but this time we're going to change the number of sides to 4. And then I'm going to draw out 12 inches, enter, and then go up 12 inches, enter. And then all we got to do is mirror it from a front view. from there to there, and then switch back to perspective, and Boolean union. Those two together. And then I'm going to move it from this point here to 0, enter, and then go to a top view and move it into our spot right there. And that's it. Very, very simple one. And then the next one, we're going to do the icosahedron and the dodecahedron, which is the most complicated. Those are the three. So now we've got the cube, the tetrahedron, the octahedron, and now I'm going to skip the dodecahedron for the moment and do the icosahedron. And this one has some really interesting geometry. We're using something called the golden rectangle to create this. So I'm going to just go to a top view here and start creating this by typing rectangle. And I want the overall size of most of these to be about 12 inches. But this one I'm going to make a little bit bigger because this is the one I'm actually going to fabricate. And you can kind of pick the size of these that you want based off of how big you want them to be when you fabricate them. I want this to be about 18 inches by 18 inches. So I'm going to type 18, or no, I'm going to do 9 inches, 9 inches, enter, by 9 inches, enter. Okay. So this square here is 9 by 9, and when we're done, it's going to almost be 18 inches. I think it's going to be a little bit less, but I'm fine with that. So what I want to do next is I'm going to draw a line from the midpoint here, so making sure that you've got the same snaps I do on midpoint there to endpoint there. And then I'm going to draw a circle, and I'm going to make the radius of this circle by clicking here and going to this corner. And then I'm going to draw another rectangle, and I'm going to go from here up to this quadrant here. So you got to make sure the quadrant snap is on as well to there. So this and this together make our golden ratio, our golden rectangle here. So I'm going to type a rectangle and just use that as a guide from there to there, and then click here, and it gives you several different options, and it's because you've got curves on top of curves. So I want this curve as my my reference. Then I'm going to go ahead and delete these. Perfect. And I'm going to copy it 3 times. So I'm going to hold down Alt and go Alt, and then I'll put one over on this side too, because I need 3 of these to make my my 20-sided die. Okay, so now what we need to do is flip these. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to perspective here so we can see. And then I'm going to flip this one up like that, and then use the green, flip it like that. And then this one, I'm going to rotate this way, and then I'm going to flip it up. Okay, so we're going to bring these 3 together. So I'm going to move this central one using the move tool. So type move, enter, click on the object to move, enter, and then I'm going to hover on it until you see that CEN pop up for center, and then just click, and that's how I know I've grabbed it by the center. And then I'm going to hover over here until I see center, and then click to place it there. Of course, you need to make sure your center snap is on. And then we do this one, center, and center. Okay, so we've got our golden rectangles all set here. The next step is to go ahead and start making this into our 20-sided dies by creating surfaces. So I'm going to go up to this tool right here and either type surface or just click on that tool. And then I'm going to use the end snaps, end to end to end, enter. So I'm clicking, there you go, click, 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 enter, or spacebar also works the same way. And then we just keep doing that, joining these points all nice together. There. Fun with geometry. And then let's see here, for this one, this one, that one, this one. And let's see. Oops, that one's wrong. Sometimes I get lost. It's easy to get lost in this thing. Oh, there we go. 1, 2, 3. There you go. So you're just drawing basically the surface right on the corners of where those rectangles meet. And you do need to make sure that they are all perfectly aligned. If there's any gaps or you miss any of those clicks, this thing ain't going to work. So you might have to start over if something goes wrong like that, but it's all good practice. So just making sure you're getting your end snaps. All right. So this is our piece here. It's all separate though. So now we just select the whole thing and we join them together. Since they are surfaces with edges to edges, we can join them together. And so that gives us our next Platonic solid, which is the 20-sided die is what I like to call it. Okay. And then we switch to a front view here and you can see that this is below. I can do this, move, enter, click on the bottom here. I can then hit 0, enter, and that puts it at the 0 of the XY axis. And then I can move it over there. Okay. And then I'll move it back in space here. And then I can delete my, my golden rectangles. Okay, so that's that one. We got one more left to do, and it is probably the most difficult one, but that's the dodecahedron. Okay, so let's go ahead and start off. First, we want to create the flat surface of the dodecahedron, which is a 5-sided polygon. So we're going to type polygon, and then we're going to do 5 inscribed, and then we're going to click, and I want it to be, there we go. So we're rotating it around. So I want the bottom of it to be flat against the x-axis here. So, and size wise, I don't know. It's kind of guesswork. So I'm going to go 5 quote for 5 inches, enter, click to get out. And then I'm going to go ahead and I want to turn this into a surface. And a quick hack to make something a surface is to first extrude it up and then use the command extract surface. Click on that, enter, and then click on the rest of it and delete it. And now you've got our nice little surface. Now we're going to use a rotation tool called 3D rotate. So 3D rotate or rotate 3D. Okay, click here, select the object to rotate. You're my object, enter, and then a rotation axis. I'm going to use here to there. And then I'm going to change this from copy no to copy yes, because I'm going to copy it. And then I'm going to enter the dimension that I want this to rotate up, which I know through basically Googling what the draft angle is on a dodecahedron, which is 116 degrees, 116D, and then we do 34 apostrophe, enter. Okay, click to get out. And then escape. All right, so that's our first one. And then we just do it again. Well, I accidentally copied 2 of them, so there's 2 there. So we go rotate 3D, specify my axis to there, drag out a little bit. So we got the little circle doohickey, and click. Oops, sorry. Do it again. Rotate 3. Axis. Draft angle. 116D 34 apostrophe. Enter. Click. Escape. All right. I got 2 of them. And then we want to make sure, we're always checking to make sure everything is perfectly aligned, which so far looks like it is. Keep on going. And then we do this to there. Enter. And then you should just be able to hit enter again to get out. And it'll use the same angle because it's sticky like that. Click to there, drag it out, enter, enter. Same command. Enter brings up the same command. Angle from there to there, drag it out, enter, enter to get out. Okay, cool. So we've got the bottom part of it. Now we'll join this whole thing together, select the whole thing and hit join. All one piece, fantastic. Now we switch to a front or a right view, doesn't really matter. I'm gonna go mirror, enter, and then I'm gonna click on this little top part here and drag over to there. Okay. Then I'm gonna go back to perspective here, and they are not aligned because I do need to rotate this to make it fit. And that's done by having the number of sides divided by 360 degrees divided by 2, and that'll give you 36 is the rotation on this. So I'm going to find the blue right here on the gumball. And for some reason, if you don't have the gumball on, always remember gumball's right there. Click, and then I go 36. Oh, yep, 36. Enter. All right. They look like they'll line up, but now I've got to move them into position. So I go move. MOVE, enter, and I click from this endpoint to that point there, and then I've aligned them up, and then I can join them together. Awesome. So that is our dodecahedron. Now there's a lot more that you can do to make really cool shapes and stuff that you can use, but I think that these Platonic solids are simple enough to work with to where you'll still be able to create some interesting geometry and really make interesting pieces. I mean, you could, of course, do pyramids on all of these edges and make it kind of like a spiky cone thing. If you look up geometry Platonic solids online, there's a whole bunch more that you can do with them. Mixing and matching, but for the purposes of this exercise, I want to keep it relatively simple. And yeah, so next step is to turn this into a light project. And I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use the 20-sided dice basically to create my project. Although it has the most sides, which means it's the most difficult. The more sides it is, the more difficult it's going to be to play with. So yeah, this is what we're going to do. And I'm going to go ahead and go to a top view here. Move this over, move this into space, put it in perspective, and then isolate. Type isolate. Z enter, S enter to zoom on the selected object. Awesome. And we are ready to start designing the rest of the project here. And I'll do that in the next one. Thank you very much. See you on the next one.